We've talked so much about IPOs on the channel over the past 12 months, and I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but I was wondering, what have been some of the best and worst ones in terms of their performance? So I decided to pull some data together and take a look at it and share what I found with you. Now, while I was curious to see what the best performing IPOs were, I have to say I was most interested in seeing what the worst performing ones were. Because maybe those are the ones where we have an opportunity to buy low. Now, of course, we just have to make sure that they're not priced low because they're just really bad companies that we want to avoid altogether. But before I get into sharing the top 10 best and worst performing IPOs over the past 12 months, first I want to welcome you to Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise. I'm Kevin, and we talk a lot about investing here. And because of so much interest in IPOs, we've ended up covering them more than I ever expected to. Now, a couple of videos ago, after my little unexpected break from YouTube, I talked with you about doing some other types of videos on the channel. Well, today I want to give you an update on that. The first thing is, I made a decision that I am not going to do that. Since I know many of you are here because you're interested in investing, I don't want to drive any of you away with a lot of videos popping up on your feed that you're just not interested in. But I'm still going to make those videos. In fact, I've made a couple already. Now, as to where I'm going to upload them, and this is my big announcement, it's to a second channel, and I've named it How To with Kevin. And it's live right now. I've coordinated to release the first video on the new channel at the same time this one's coming out. Now, the videos on the new channel are going to show you how to do things I've learned and done, and probably like a lot of you, I've learned how to do some of these things by watching YouTube, and so this is my attempt to return the favor or maybe pay it forward. So unlike Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise, where I'll continue to focus on investing, wealth building, and financial wellness, How To with Kevin will cover a lot of different topics. Some home improvement things, some tech stuff, just basically ways to learn things to not only save money by doing them yourself, but to give you that sense of accomplishment. And none of these things will be super hard, just things that I've learned to do myself that I know others can too. Now, the first video shows you how I transformed a laminate bathroom countertop to a much better looking concrete one. It's a really cool project that I feel turned out great, but you'll have to let me know what you think. So anyways, I hope you check out the new channel and video. I'll link both in the description. And if you're not too tired of me yet, I'd really love for you to subscribe to that channel as well. I've learned about a lot of you in the community and our interactions, so I know many of you are real similar to me in having a lot of different interests than just making money, so hopefully you'll join me there as well. And if you really have no interest or you just don't have the time, no harm, no foul. I completely understand, and I'll still have this channel for you. It's not going anywhere. Alright, so let's get to today's video and talk about the top 10 best and worst performing IPOs over the past 12 months. Now, I pulled the data over Labor Day weekend, so depending on when you watch this, it covers basically all the IPOs from early September of last year up to early September of 2021. Now, I only included traditional IPOs and direct listings. I filtered out the SPACs because it was just too hard to account for if they announced mergers or not and how that impacted performance. It's just more than I wanted to get into for this video. Although that could be something that I could look at another time. So without further ado, let's look at the top 10 IPOs first, and you'll see some familiar names in the list. So as we start with number 10, I want to clarify how the performance, or as you can see, the return percentage is calculated. So this percentage is actually the difference between the offer price, which again is the IPO price, based from the current price. Now, that's not always the best for retail investors because as retail investors, a lot of times we are not able to get in on the IPO. And so to show you where that number could be was the first day close. So I have that on the list for you. And some of them are going to be close, such as number 10 here, which is Global E Online. They, as you can see, they opened or they offered their IPO at $25. After the first day of trading, so again, this is when retail investors would have had the opportunity, it closed at $25.50, so pretty close. And as you can see now, since the IPO in May, they are now trading at $79.66, which is a return of 218.64%. So that's how we'll look through these, and we'll see what the differences are. Number 9 of the best performing IPOs is dLocal Limited. This traded this summer. They offered on the June 3rd, 2021. Now, as you can see in this one, a little bit different. Offered at $21, this was the IPO price, but the first day close showed you that it was really up high, $32.39. So you may never had the opportunity. The return percentage is going to be based on the offer price. So it shows a 223%, But as a retail investor, you might have done better had you got in on the first day from a Global E online versus the D Local Limited. But again, just from the data, it's hard to manipulate all this, so we'll just look at it as from the IPO price. Moving on to number 8, we have Academy Sports Plus Outdoors, ticker ASO. We talked about these guys in October of last year. So this is another one where not much happened initially. They had an IPO price of $13, and on day one they actually closed down 1 penny. But currently they're trading at $44.52, so you have a return of over 242%. So that's pretty strong. Number 7 on the list is another company that we talked about on one of our IPO This Week episodes, and that was Zim Integrated Shipping Services. You can see that their IPO happened in January. The IPO price was $15. You look at their first day close, they were actually $11.50, and now they're trading at $54.14. So the return from the IPO price is actually 260.93%. But had you bought it on day one, where it was trading under that IPO price, you would have actually made more than the 260%. So again, in the integrated shipping, Zim has definitely sort of benefited from some of the supply issues in the shipping that's out there. So prices have gone up. All right, number 6 of the best IPOs, moving up. Company very popular on this channel with many of you is Palantir. They clock in at number 6. Like, obviously they were a direct listing and not a traditional IPO. By not being an IPO, they really didn't have an IPO price, but they had a number that was just sort of where they expected the stock would trade, and that was listed at $7.25. Now, on day one, it never traded that low. It traded in that $9 to $10 range most of the day, and so that's really where the first day closed. We'll look at $9.50, and the return, again from the offer price, again a little misleading, was 267%. But if you take it from the $9.50, it's still up way big from where it opened, as it's now was trading over the weekend at $26.64. The next one on the list is another company that came out this summer, Verve Therapeutics. And again, this is not one that we talked about because I was on my little break at that point, but they offered at $19. That was the IPO price. Their first day close was well up over that. Probably never had the opportunity to get it at $19. Currently, they're trading at $71.39 for a return over 275%. Number 4 on the best list, Doximity Inc. Another one that came out in June. Offer price was $26. Their first day close was $53. So again, when you look at this return percentage, it's based on the IPO price. The current price is $99. That really isn't even doubled from the first day close. So again, this is not one of those companies we would have had an opportunity to make this big of a return, but you still be doing pretty good if you got in even on the first day. Number 3 on the list is Esports Technology, company we talked about. This one, again, a little misleading, because if you look at the offer price, it was $6. The current price is $33.38. That shows a return of over 450%, which sounds great. However, if you did not have an opportunity at the IPO price, like most of us don't, and you got in on the first day at the close price, you actually would be down. So again, this is why this is a little misleading. But when you hear people talk about returns, on CNBC or whatever, they're always going from the IPO price. So again, I'm showing you the numbers of how they calculate it, but I'm also giving you the nuances by looking at the first day close. Number 2, Greenwich Life Sciences. This company came out in September of last year. They had an offer price of an IPO price of $5.75. Their first day close was down. You can see down to $5. Their current price shows at $43.95. So if you actually got on the first day, you could have got a better price than the actual institutional investors who got at the IPO price. The return is a whopping 664.35%. All right, and then moving on to the top performing IPO over the past 12 months, probably not a surprise for a lot of you guys that have watched this channel because we did talk about them. Number 1 comes in as Upstart Holdings, ticker UPST. Their offer price, or the IPO price, was $20. Currently is trading at $247.29 for a return of over 1,000%. If you look at even from their first day close, even though it was much higher than the IPO price, you still have done really well had you got in on the first day. So those are your top 10 best performing IPOs over the past 12 months. Now let's switch it up and talk about the 10 worst performing IPOs over the past 12 months. The first one comes in as Zhangman Education, and not 100%, never looked into this one. This again came out sort of when I was on my little break. It came out in June. The offer price was $11.50. It had a little bit of a pop on the first day. You can see it came out $16.99. Currently trading down to $3.47. So that return is a negative 70%. And again, would actually be a worse return if you trade on day one versus the IPO price. Number 9 on the worst performing list comes in at ContextLogic, and most of you guys know that is Wish. And again, that came out that same week that Upstart Holdings did, so hopefully if you picked one or the other, you did not pick Wish. And we talked about the positives and negatives on that episode, but they came out in December. The offer price was $24, and on the first day of closing, it actually traded lower than the IPO price at $20.05. Currently, the stock is trading at $7.24, and again, it's been into that $6 range before. So again, the return here is a minus 69%, and again, that's from the offer price or the IPO price. Moving on, at number 8, we have Waterdrop Incorporated. They had an IPO in May of this year. Their IPO price was $12. Their first day close was $9.70, so again, they came down low from the get-go. Currently trading at $3.53, so their return minus 70%. And again, that's from the IPO price. Moving on to number 7, we have Galecto, a healthcare company that came out in 2020. They offered at $15, and they closed at $15 on that first day. And as you can see here, the current price is $4.41 for a return of a negative 70%. And at number 6, we have Curamik Biopharma. They had an IPO in October of last year with an offer price of $12. They actually closed down on that first day at $11.50, currently trading at $3.50. So another in that negative 70% return rate. And now getting to the 5 worst performing IPOs in the last 12 months. Number 5, Boki Holding Limited. They came out last September. They had an IPO price of $10. They closed down on day one at $7.20, and then currently trading at $2.71. So another return of over 70% negative. Next, we have Graybug Vision coming in at number 4. They offered last September at an offer price of $16. Their first day close was actually just a little bit higher than that, but currently are trading in the $3 to $4 range, giving us a negative return of 75.44%. At number 3, we have Inhibikase Therapeutics. They came out around the holidays. They had an IPO price of $10. First day closed at $9.90. Currently trading at $2.41, negative return of over 75%. Number 2, or the runner-up to the worst performing IPOs in the last 12 months, is Root Incorporated. They came out last October. They had an offer price of $27. They actually closed at $27. Their current price, though, way down to $6.01, gives us a negative 77.74% return. And then the worst performing IPO of the last 12 months is 17 Education and Technology Group, and they came out last December. They had an IPO price of $10.50. First day close, pretty close to $10.58. Currently trading $1.27. Their return, as you can see, is the worst. It's negative 87.90%. And one thing you're probably seeing on this list is we have some companies in 17 Education Technology Group, top of the list, companies affiliated or from China. Those stocks, as you guys know, have gotten battered over the last few months. So as you look at this list of the 10 worst performing IPOs over the past 12 months, you just want to take a look at it and say, is there a reason why this stock is trading this low? And is there opportunity for it to go up? Is it just because some of them are affiliated with China or from China, do business with China? Or is it something else that just says that the company's not that strong? So whatever the case is, at least you have the idea what the 10 worst are, and maybe you can look a little further into it. There you go, both the lists of the top 10 best and worst performing IPOs of the last 12 months. Let me know what you think of the companies on it and if you were surprised by any of them. Depending on your comments, I might do a follow-up video to dig a little deeper to see where some of the companies might be heading. So with that, I'd like to ask you to please push that like button so I know you like this type of video. And again, if you're interested in helping to support me here on YouTube, please check out my new channel, How To with Kevin, where my first video just came out. It was a super cool project that takes a little bit of time, but one that I think was well worth it. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.